Hey everybody, welcome back to another Ark video. We've been doing quite a bit of work off camera, mainly gathering supplies since it's just tedious to show you guys that on camera since it would just be me repeatedly going back and forth, but we've done a few things I think you guys would like. When we left off, we only had that guy over there, and even though once he tamed up and we got some levels on him, you know, he's 141, we got this guy now. And we built him up for pretty much speed. We put just enough points into his health that he would survive getting hit with a couple blasts from a wyvern and whatnot. And then last night, after about hour and a half of searching, we finally got a decent level thorny dragon. And yeah, very nice. Its trait is a weight one, so when we breed it, hopefully his children get that. Now, he's better than that one by a couple 100 pounds for what he can hold, and then his damage is a lot nicer, so it made getting wood a lot easier to gather. Now, other than that, we haven't really done anything besides gather materials and craft a buttload more building supplies, because I'm thinking I want to do a different area for storing them, especially like the flyers, because right now I keep having creatures just attacking them through the little railing or attacking the morella tops that's outside, and they keep jumping out. And if you're wondering about all the fires, this is my charcoal station, which I should probably grab it all. I'm gonna have to top all them off with wood soon. Only thing is, I don't know where I want to put this building. I'm thinking probably out behind the base, especially since I kind of want to do a kind of tower type thing, like a round one. Which is why I have so many of the triangle pieces built up. Should probably get some water. Since this all won't fit in the mortar and pestle, I'm going to throw it in with the gunpowder. Although before we do any of that, I'm going to fly us back over to the wyvern pit and see if we can find a decent egg. I went over and I went into one little corner and we found a craft little 10 one. I'm figuring even if we get a bunch of those, we can use those for taming the Titan boas. Don't want to waste the spoiled meat. Only downside about this guy is he does not have a whole lot of weight. So we have to be careful because I alone weigh about 130. But I figured you guys would enjoy a better view of the wyvern scar than when I went over there on the direwolf and almost died. Actually, I'm gonna take us up and give us a nice view of the entire map. It's another thing that I wished I had put a little bit more points into was its stamina. But still a decent amount. I also have been going around and getting a bunch of drops when I can. Although some of them have been glitching down into the ground. And I found the control for the higher dino count. And yesterday when I was on, I had it set at 100. And it did have a good amount more, but it's still... Like I said, I was searching for a decent level thorny dragon for well over an hour and a half. And any of the servers I played on, whether it was official or unofficial on Ark Survival Evolved, there was always way more. Like up here, if you looked down pretty much at any point once you got into these mountains, there were dozens of creatures just everywhere. And right now, I have it set to about 300, and it's still not too populated, and I've been doing what everybody recommended, and I used the console commands to do the world save and then a dino wipe after I had changed the numbers. So I'm thinking, I was doing small jumps because I didn't want to like overpopulate everything, but I'm thinking since, you know, I can look down around here and there's nothing, that even though I have it up at 300, I might up it to maybe 7, maybe 800. And I did lower the taming speed, which was at 3.5 when we did the RG and everything, but I took it down to 2.5 because I still felt it was a little too easy. And I did lower the damage since we were last on. So I do about half as much as what you guys saw in the last video, like when I was fighting the death worm and all that. So my ascended spear, I'm doing maybe 100 and something with now instead of over 300. Because while it was nice, you know, getting the high damage and taming everything nice and quick, it felt a little unfair, in my opinion. And I've never liked playing games where I make it too easy. As you guys see for Space Engineers, you know, 99% of the mods that I have on for Space Engineers all make the game harder. And after doing things like that for Space Engineers, or the settings me and my brother play on for like 7 days to die, it's a little weird to play a game where the server settings are easy. Just like the fact that there's like no wyverns. I know this end of the scar was always the smaller area, but like, should be a lot more by now. Either that, or when I did the dino wipe, you know, everything's still trying to respawn, but that was a good like hour or hour and a half ago. And I did use one of the console commands to get on the thorny dragon and, you know, have it fly, because it's way faster than even this RG, and I did circles around the map, just making sure everything was rendering in, and I was passing through all the different zones to make sure the spawn rate. Oh. Yeah, it noticed me. Seems I got enough speed to outmaneuver to an extent. Hopefully this is a low. Got a brief glimpse at it. I think this is 80. 80. See, just for those few hits, I just went down a couple thousand health. Which is why most of the time on Survival Evolved, before they did the flyer nerf where they didn't allow you to do speed upgrades on them anymore and all that bullcrap. You'd have to breed. You'd get some good stat ones and then you would breed the crap out of them. Which is why I was so annoyed when they did the flyer nerf, because I was playing on the same server that me and my dad were on, because he briefly played it. We spent like 4 to 5 days on the island map up in the snow by one of the largest RG spawn points, and we built a nice trap for them. And so we were exclusively just getting the max level the servers could have, and then we were trying to breed them, and after we had spent like 3 to 4 days taming, we spent a good week and a half breeding. And then literally the day after we got done with it and we had some really nice ones, they did the flyer nerf, and all the RGs that we had, and whether it was taming or breeding, they were all about half the level of what they once were, and all their stats just crap. Definitely don't want to be under the nest. Level 10. There it is. Just me, or is that gaming? I wonder, is the arena still over there? I think that's the arena I'm seeing. Yeah. But did it already stop following me? Normally they chase you forever. Like, I've had them chase me halfway across the map. Huh. Well, that's weird. Wonder if they tweaked the settings for them or not. The thing is, I don't even see it anywhere around. Did it already like turn around and go back into the pit? Yeah, I still have the egg. It didn't spoil. That was a problem on Ark Survival for the longest time. I actually don't think they ever fixed it. Half the time you'd get over, whether it was on Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, or any of the other ones that they added the wyvern scar on, you'd fly in, you'd grab one, and it would spoil the moment you picked it up, but you still had all the wyverns on you. So it was pretty much everybody that had the ability to do it would go around and clear the scar periodically, just to make sure none of the crap eggs were there, as best we could at least. Still find it weird that the scar is this empty, which really makes me want to up the settings, because I should not be able to fly through like this. And I know, again, that sounds weird, but it's too easy if it's going to be this empty all the time. Not to mention, eggs aren't really going to be spawning if there's no wyverns. 90 poison. Poison was probably my least favorite wyvern. It was also the one that was easiest to kill yourself with. All it took was one little misclick, and if you're close enough to the head, you just kill yourself by the poison cloud. And of course, the fire was always the best ones for going up against the alpha, because the alpha wyverns were always fire. Oh. I don't think I have enough health on my person to survive multiple hits by a poison wyvern. Hopefully we don't get hit by its breath attack. This is why you want to have the speed. Even more for getting away from them, but the speed helps you to pretty much just keep out of range of the breath attacks. Now, if this was a lightning wyvern, it would be screwing me up just entirely. And I am not looking forward to having to knock out the females to get the milk. That is never fun. I mean, once I saw chicken bones build for capturing them, though, that would make it so much easier. Okay, now I gotta get down before I lose the last bit of my stamina. Damn, how far up did we go? God damn. Oh no. Not good. Please tell me it's not going to do the same as Survival Evolved. Survival Evolved, if you ran out of stamina like this, half the time it would kick you off and you just plummet. At least here it seems like they're slowly coming down for a landing. Heck, just being right here, I should have been getting jumped by Mantis all the time. I'm definitely gonna have to up the dino count. And here I was figuring 300 would be a damn good count. Calm down, Reaper. I could have swore I saw a poison wyvern down here. I mean, I'm not going to say no to an easy grab like that one, but... Yeah, there's the more wyverns. Yeah, in Ark Survival Evolved, if you grabbed an egg even from just right there, all of those guys would still be on you. Really hope it's not a sandstorm that hits. Not the best levels. Man, we already reached the other end of the scar? Oh boy. I realized I was gonna rise right underneath them. So we just flew the entire scar, and we killed 2. I know for a fact there was another poison in the area. And then these guys. This is not the count that we should have. We should easily have had to try to maneuver around like 50 to 60 throughout the scar, if not more. I guess we can check out the arena while we're over here. And then we can get back and start laying out the foundation for the new building. But I wanted to actually take you guys down into the scar. Oh, a little different. Not much for this part of it. Would have been cool if they surrounded the entire arena with this. Like, even if they were just the tops of the buildings sticking out of sand, it would have been nice if it had gone full circle around the arena. Oh, hey, there's an actual opening to walk in now. Neat. Personally, I would have had the tail going up the bot, like curving up the body as if it was going to strike forward. See, like this a little bit. If this had circled the entire one with a thing like this, that would have been cool. I mean, I still like the change to this area that they did from Survival Evolved. It's nice seeing the little changes that they made. Wonder if the cave is still inside of one of the buildings farther out. Yeah, that was a little weird to have them spawn right there. Now, I was going to carry him back and potentially get him, but I don't want a low one like that. Definitely think it's nice, though, that they made it to where you can actually walk into there with big dinosaurs and everything instead of pretty much just being restricted to flyers or the small ones like dire wolves and sabers. Explorer note. So maybe this video won't be entirely just the building, but I was going to bring you guys back earlier when I was leveling up the new Thorny Dragon, but I'm glad I didn't because it took a long while for like any of the dinosaurs to really spawn in. And after I did the dino wipe, I waited a good 30 minutes before I went out to start fighting to get levels on him, and the what is that? Huh. says lizard. Whoa, what the hell is that? Wasn't able to attack. I do know there's at least one of the DLCs that I don't got. Probably more. Still weird to look over and see the death worms, you know, arcing out of the ground like that. I was so used to having to do the K mode and having to, oh god, peek under the ground to really try to find them, or just fly on the surface and let them pop out. God. Stamina, please. It'd be a terrible type of funny, but it'd be funny just to land and have another one instantly pop up. See, for anybody that hasn't played Ark Survival Evolved or even Ark Ascended, and I'm basing all my knowledge from Survival Evolved, when you would be going around the desert like this, there would be clumps of the mantises like that by, you know, the 100. It'd be everywhere. You couldn't step anywhere in the desert without getting pounced on by them. Now, if it's in the same spot, I know there should be a cave that's going to be coming up in a building. That's one of the artifact caves. Then there should be a cave that is in that little crag, scar, whatever, that we took refuge from that sandstorm with the dire wolves. But I honestly don't know where the third one was. I wasn't overly concerned with doing all the artifacts all the time when I was doing Survival Evolved. Mainly because I was typically playing alone, but when I would do the artifact caves and all the boss fights, I usually left that for when I had a party of people to play with. There's some buildings. Speaking of building, we'll land on this one to get some stamina. See, how populated it is up here is how it should be all over the mountains, if not worse. Funnily enough, when we were out looking for the Thorny Dragon, we actually found an RG that was better level than what this guy was before I tamed him, but I didn't want to just keep doing a bunch of good tames off camera, and the only reason I was out hunting a higher tame Thorny Dragon was just because I desperately needed something better for the wood. Because that one that we had before it was good, but it was, you know, such a low level that when we had started, that I don't think I'm at max level for it, but it's pretty much taken forever to level it up more, and I just needed something that was way better. Whoa, this is different. I like it though. There's a lot more room in here. Before it was a tiny building and then the cave was all boarded up. You could barely get a saber into it. Now I don't know if flyers, like I don't know the setting, if I turned it on or not, for having a flyer, well, fly in the cave. Man, this is a lot nicer than what it used to be on Survival Evolved. And pretty fucking empty. Full of vegetation. Still be funny if you were able to fly out through these. I like how this kind of went into an exploration video. I'm definitely gonna have to up the dino count by a lot. If I'm able to fly through a cave and I haven't gotten attacked once. I'm gonna assume this just loops back around to that other one. Yep. Had to check though. Oh, hey, look! First cave creature. About time. I forgot about rabies. Damn. They really opened this place up. Yep. Still out there to... Yep. I'm glad they left that part in. It's always funny watching people struggle to do that section. It's definitely a lot nicer down there. A little disappointed that there was no deep sea loot crates. Yeah, that's still just a pit. Oh, well, now there's creatures everywhere. Still not as much as there would typically be in a cave. Again, bummed that there's no deep sea loot crates. I still remember the first time going into a cave. Obviously it was on the island, since when I started playing Ark, that was the only map that was out. And I don't think the swamp had existed when I had started. But it was the cave across from Herbivore Island. Or Metal Island, depending on what you called it. Biggest mistake of my life was to go into that cave. Sorry about that. And I know I said it before, but I definitely like that these channels are all completely full of water. It's like every single area that was on Ark Survival Evolved that even had a damp look in it is now completely full of water. Which I'm kind of surprised they gave us that much water. Maybe it was because people complained that besides like where we currently have the base and the spires where this channel leads, the only water sources were kind of around the obelisks. Oh, in case you're wondering what gear I'm wearing. Got the desert boots, but then we got some decent flak gear, although it took quite a beating, especially when I was getting the Thorn Dragon. So weird to see water right here. Although I'm glad that they left the metal spawns here, even though they flooded the entire area. But right here was the exact area that we made our very first house on Scorched Earth. And then I think it was maybe a week after we had been playing, we got invited to a tribe, and ironically their base was literally just around the corner, so it wasn't that far of a move. If I had Ark Survival Evolved installed, I would totally show the differences, unless they've done any tweaks to the map there. But where I live, it would take 4 to 5 hours to get that game installed. See, on one of these drops, I'm really hoping for a nice long neck rifle. Okay, we should be able to get it before it despawns. More metal. Although the bow's nice. But with how high we have our fortitude. Wait, what's... Oh. Whew. No wonder I'm yawning. I just saw what time it was. Anything on it? What I need you to... Just the spoiled. You know, I did not even notice that we got that long neck. one dart off of it. Do I not? Oh god, I'm an idiot. There we go. So I should probably put that shotgun shells in there. We're gonna have to make a run up onto one of the mountains to get some obsidian. So another level 10 and then level 90. But everything has a purpose. Get there before the storm starts, whatever storm it may be. Oh, another fine thing about this RG is I almost lost it and me in the process of getting it. Because the area that we found it on, we were using the other RG to fly around, and we ran out of stamina right on top of a rock golem. So we'll poke our head up there, check that one. Originally I was going to do nothing but speed on it, but its other stats were so low. Like, if I remember right, its health was maybe 2,000. Funnily enough, I'd found obsidian before, but I was completely full on weight. But now I can't remember where it was. That first hill I checked, on Survival Evolved, it would have had the obsidian pretty much right next to the metal. Want to get a artifact stand or pedestal, whatever you want to call it. If I remember right, if there's no obsidian here, there should be a cave somewhere around there. If it still exists. Which is my problem, is all of my knowledge comes from Survival Evolved, so half the stuff that I knew where it was does not exist anymore. Or they changed it enough that it's not there anymore. The obsidian and metal and such. And we have still yet to find any good level ink, because we also searched for that when we were trying to find a good thorny dragon and such, and I have yet to find a single Anki that was above level 50. So we got some right there, some up there. You know, that's going to be one of the interesting things now, is to try to find a spot that works for taming the rock golems, because doing them solo, that one spot, you know, close to where we tamed the first RG, was just perfect. Now we're gonna have to either find another good channel that'll work, or build one. But they would have to be out of metal, since they can shred the stone buildings, obviously. I guess I forgot to pick up the Jerboa. Which I should really get a couple more. Especially now that they aren't all just level 1. It's still weird to see that, but it'd be nice to do some breeding on the Jerboas and see if we can get any cool colored ones. Let's get more, we'll spread them out. Although for the Anki, we definitely need to get one soon, because it is tedious to get all the crap by hand. See, now if I could convince my brother to get the game, or get it for him, since, yeah, it'd be easier for me to get it for him, but then the installing part would be the pain. I would totally try to convince him to play. Because he's never done any Ark or any of that stuff. I'd have to ask him if it's really even up his alley that much or not, but I know there's a couple maps like Aberration that I know for a fact if I could convince him to play, that would be the one he would end up picking, since in my opinion, Aberration's one of the harder maps. Like, for the longest time I always thought Scorched Earth was a hard one to survive in, but yeah, no, Aberration was terrible. Like, I loved it, but God, it was terrible. Do I have any food? I don't want to eat any of the jerky. We'll just pound a bunch of berries. I heard something walking around. Guess we went through all the wood. That's been the only downside about the higher dino count, is the stupid frickin', you know, little gator one that kept, never remember how to pronounce it, but stupid one that would pounce on you and just rip you off whatever mount you were on. Those have been a nuisance lately. But I don't see anything in the area. When I was eating the berries, I thought I had heard something moving around. Guess not. Well, we didn't do what we were originally planning to do on the video, but I hope you guys have still enjoyed watching me go through like the wyvern scar and then going into the cave real quick, although the cave wasn't really as exciting as we had hoped it would be. It was still nice to see that the cave was in fact still in the same area. Like I said, I know that one, and then that little channel that goes through the earth that we hid out in on the first episode, or second episode, I think. I know there should be one in there. Now, the third cave, I honestly don't know where that one was. But any of that stuff and the build will have to be in a different video, because I think I'm going to end this one here. Unfortunately, I'm starting to get a migraine, and it's just a little hard to see everything through spots that are popping up, but I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying what I'm doing, and please do not be afraid to leave any comments about what you would like to see improved, or if you want to see me tame something specific, please feel free to comment. I really enjoy reading you guys' comments and whatnot. Even criticism, I'm happily to take it. But I'm going to end that one here, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.